Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Lush Gardeners. So today is going to be a very important video because I just realized that I haven't made a video like this before, but nevertheless today I'm going to show you, because you might have already seen the video of post transit, what are the things that we need to do once we receive the succulent. And in today's video, I'm going to show you what happens. Now you can see there are two succulents over here. Of course, by looking at it, you can realize one of the succulent is quite old and that has been with me for a very long time. And this succulent is the one that I had recently unboxed. I will show you the small clip of how the succulent looked when I had taken it out from the box. So here I'll show you the comparison video. So on the right hand side, this is how the succulent looks at the present date. And on your left hand side, you can see when I had taken out the succulent from the wrappings, and that is how it looked. You can see the leaves were kind of closed inwards, and now you can see the leaves are wide open. I haven't watered. Remember guys, I haven't watered ever since I've put it into the soil, but you can still see the succulent is kind of open. Now this is where a lot of people tend to make mistake. The moment they take out the succulent and they put it into the soil, they immediately water it. Most likely your succulent will get rotted. Now I'm not very sure the reason why it does, but you can see the succulent is open. Now even without watering, how did the succulent open up like this? It's because of the environment. Remember guys, during the night the humidity is very high, and the succulent has been inside that packaging for a very long time, let's say for 3 to 4 days or for a week or whatever it is, and the succulent is extremely dehydrated. Not extremely dehydrated, but it has been deprived out of moisture because it has been in that box. Now the moment we take it out and we put it into the soil at night, that is when the CAM category plants, which are cacti and succulents, they start their photosynthesis during the night. Now when there is a good amount of humidity during the night and now it is out of the box, it's in the soil, the succulent leaves will start to absorb moisture from the air, and that's how they start to open up. Without watering, you can see it is still open. Now this is where a lot of people tend to ask me questions. They say, it has been 3 days, I have potted my succulent, can I water it? I don't know why a lot of people are in a hurry to water their succulents. You can clearly see the leaves are wide open, which indicates that the succulent does have a good amount of water in the leaves. Watering it right away, there are two things. One, it is well hydrated. By watering it, you are going to risk the succulent in getting rotted. Secondly, the succulent is not completely acclimated in a new environment. It is just in the process and we do not want to disturb it. The succulent is not going to die guys. You can see the succulent is wide open. Yes, there are a couple of lower leaves. You can see they have kind of got dried out. Over here as well, you can see this is a very normal process. You do not need to be worried. This drying of the leaves is nothing related with the succulent being dehydrated. You need to see the overall leaves of the succulent. The overall succulent looks, it is very well hydrated, so you do not need to be worried. Now of course, this succulent is kept in indirect bright light. That could also be one of the reason why it is looking a little bit faded, but that's absolutely fine. It is getting a good amount of indirect bright light. Over the period of time, it will start to kind of adjust and get acclimated. You can see the crown area is not stretched, which means that it is quite healthy at this point of time. We do not want to do anything. We can wait for some more days. Let's say your leaves start to close inwards, probably then you can go ahead and water it. If you are from a very dry environment, then you can water after, let's say 5 days or 6 days, but do not water before that. You might have seen in the post transit video how I happen to water it. Very little water in the roots. You can follow that. I will put the link in the description below. You can check the entire process. But this is how the succulent is supposed to look after it has been potted. Please do not add water. Please do not expose it to direct sunlight. You will definitely kill the succulent. Now this succulent over here is an aguides. Now these are not the same variety, they are different variety, but I'm just giving you an example because even this one had red leaves, so it will eventually start to turn slightly red in color. But for this succulent to reach to this stage, because a lot of people think that the moment they buy the succulent, immediately within a month the succulents will start looking like this. This is absolutely incorrect. It is going to take a very long time. Probably it might take a year and a half, or even 2 years for this succulent to look like this, wherein it is completely stressed, looks very compact, looks very healthy. It is a very long process. Your succulent is not going to look like this within couple of weeks or within couple of months. It is a very long process. You need to have a lot of patience. A lot of people also tend to ask me, within 4 days of buying the succulent, they ask me, can we expose it to direct sunlight? Now guys, I have explained this multiple amount of times. Please don't do this. Please don't expose it to direct sunlight. The succulent will get burned because it's still adjusting. 1 week, 1 month is still a very less time to expose your succulent to direct sunlight. Apart from that, you have to do a slow process which will again take another month to acclimate it to direct sunlight. If you are going to keep it in indirect bright light, it is not going to damage your succulent, provided the intensity of indirect bright light is very good. Anything above 2000 lux, your succulent will do quite well. Don't worry about the colors at this point of time. You want your succulent to be healthy. Colors will appear as and when the succulent is completely adjusted, and then once you start exposing it to morning direct sunlight with that slow acclimation, then your succulent will look like this. But it is a very long process. You cannot expect it to happen within couple of weeks or within couple of months. So please don't be in a hurry. This is what I wanted to share with you, because every now and then I do get questions: when should I expose the succulent to direct sunlight? When should I add water? When your succulent looks like this, it is not in need of water. It can still do quite well. Always remember, when your succulent is kept in indirect bright light, it would require a little bit less watering as compared to a succulent being kept in direct sunlight. Let's say, for example, this is just a hypothetical situation. Let's say if this succulent is kept in indirect bright light, it might need, for example, it might need water every 7 days, 8 days, or maybe 10 days. Whereas this one would require water every 5 days, depending upon the season and the type of climate that you have. But your watering definitely changes as per your succulent being exposed to direct sunlight or indirect bright light. There is again going to be a variable in watering. So to be on the safer side, all I would say is just hold on to the water. The succulent will not die. You can see there is enough amount of water in the leaves. There is no wrinkling of the leaves. These leaves that are drying out, this is a very natural process for a succulent to do that, because the succulent is getting acclimated in the new environment. It will discard the lower leaves, which is a very normal phenomena. We do not need to be worried. If you tend to see that there are a lot of wrinkles showing up, then you can go ahead and water it after 5 or 6 days, and within 24 to 48 hours those wrinkles will disappear. But let's say for whatever reasons those wrinkles do not disappear, then there could be another issue. Maybe your soil is being very compact, or the roots have got damaged and the succulent is starting to put out new roots. For that, you'll have to take out the succulent and check for the roots. But in a normal case, in 90-95%, your succulent is going to look like this when you put it into a good soil mix which is loose, porous and well draining. You do not need to water it right away. There is almost 95 to 99% that your succulent will get rotted if you're going to water immediately. Wait for some time. Let the succulent give you signs that it needs water. So this is something that I wanted to share with you guys. This is how the succulent looks after you have put it into the soil. There will be some yellowing of the leaves, or there will be some drying of the leaves. You do not need to be panicked. A lot of people do get panicked. A lot of times you might get a succulent with a lot of yellow leaves. Again, that depends. Probably there was a lot of moisture that the succulent has come in. Probably the roots were not dried properly. There could be a lot of reasons. Apart from that, maybe your environment is very humid, your environment is very unstable at that point of time, because right now it is the monsoon season. Because there is a very high amount of humidity, probably the leaves will start to turn yellow as well. Right now it has not been raining for a couple of days, so probably because the environment is not very humid, that's why it's drying a little bit, because the days are very dry over here. So that's why my leaves, instead of getting yellow, they are just drying up, and that's a very natural phenomena. We do not need to be worried. And as I said, for the succulent to reach like this, to this stage wherein it looks beautiful, compact, beautiful stress colors, it is going to take a very long time. All you need to do is, as I've said this 1,000 times, you have to have a lot of patience when you're growing succulents. You cannot be in a hurry. Underwatering a little bit is absolutely okay than overwatering and killing your succulent. In an underwatered succulent, you still have some percentage to revive your succulent, but in an overwatered succulent, you almost have a zero chance of reviving it back, especially if you have a crown rot. And what I have seen with a lot of people, when they share the picture, I have seen most of the new succulents tend to get crown rot, and that's due to overwatering, or probably a very high amount of humidity in the environment. A newly purchased succulent will get a crown rot if the environment is very humid. That's why I tell a lot of people, do not buy succulents during the monsoon time. Wait until the winters probably by September, October, the rains should subside and then it is going to get a little bit better. That's when you can buy the succulents. Do not buy succulents when it is raining, because again, if you have bought a new succulent and you expose it to even a little bit of rain, there is a high chance that it will get rotted. Again, not every time, but there is a small chance that it will get a crown rot if it is exposed to excess amount of moisture in the air. So guys, that's all about it. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep planting.